and welcome to the first ever episode. In this episode, we talk about free agency and a couple other things about football and a little bit about basketball. But we did this recording on March 12th, a couple of days before the chaotic free agency week that we've been having. I just had to teach myself how to edit, but now that I got that down, same day we record is the same day we're going to post. So the topics will be relevant the next time. But I hope you guys enjoy this first episode and the many more to come. All right, welcome to the first episode of an Inconvenient Sports Podcast. I am one of three hosts, Adrian Garcia, alongside with Ricardo Monroy and Rodrigo Moras. Say what's up.
What's up?
So
So, just a little rundown of the expectations on this pod. We're just gonna be talking about sports, but the opinions by fans. We're not experts, and yeah, gonna have a good time. But to start off the first episode, let's talk about the recent um, things going on in the off season, with free agency coming up next week. But there's already some free agent signings, and one big one I think that really affects us as Niner fans is the signing of J.J. Watt to the Cardinals. What do y'all think about that?
Rod, you can go first.
JJ Watt going to the Cardinals is basically like every guy who's kind of past their prime going to the Cardinals, like Emmett Smith. Who else am I thinking? Terrell Suggs. It's just another
Kurt
case
Warner.
where we.
Yeah,
Kurt Warner was a good one. Kurt Warner, I think. I mean, he led them to the playoffs, but
and a Super Bowl.
I don't know. And a Super Bowl, you're right, but I don't know. It's like that old saying that Arizona's a place where careers go to die.
Yeah,
And I just agree with that. And I think JJ Watt, he's going to be okay, but he's not going to have the same production like he's had in those MVP kind of years with Houston.
mm-hmm.
Good for him for getting out of Houston, though. I'll give him that. Good for him, but I don't really know how that's going to work. He might be good only because Seattle's offensive line is terrible, and we might actually lose Mike McGlinchey from the Niners. So I'm not really sure. I think it might be just a year where he probably gets 4 or 5 sacks in a season, and he'll be happy with that. They'll probably be in the playoffs because Arizona is one of those teams that's on the rise this season. You know, they have DeAndre Hopkins. I think Kyler Murray's only going to take a step up this season. And so, yeah, I think, like I said, it's going to be an okay season for him, but it's not going to be like a double-digit sack season, I believe.
uh,
All right.
what do you think,
Yeah.
Ricky?
Well, like you were saying, past their where players go past their prime. Yeah. Same could be said about maybe Chandler Jones. I don't know. When you have him and Chandler Jones on that D line
Chandler
together.
Jones.
Yeah. Defensive end. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm surprised you're saying that. Chandler Jones is still doing pretty good though.
yeah, he's solid, dude.
I
But
mean, I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Rod, that I don't buy into Chandler Jones like you do. I'm sorry. All right, but anyways, you're gonna put
You broke a
like you
sled
said.
at practice. Like, come on, man.
Uh, anybody could
come
do that.
on, that's
Uh,
Arizona equipment.
It's like
it's
still
also
from the
soft.
1970s.
Well, go on, Ricky.
Yep. Yeah. Well, like I don't know. I don't expect big numbers from J.J. Watt too. I don't expect him to have that big of an impact. It's just it seems like he's just going there for fun. Because
Mhm.
I don't really think the Cardinals are going to compete for a title anytime soon. Um, they still need a lot more help. On the defensive side. You know, and yeah, like it's I don't know. It was just a really random signing. Like I just saw it. I'm like, what? Like Cardinals? Like okay, because I don't think the Cardinals were ever brought up. Besides, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, like trying to like convince him to come. And then Kyler Murray, I guess, also wanted him to go there. But I don't know. I mean, I guess, I mean, the NFC West. It's like probably one of the toughest divisions in football. Because you still have Russell Wilson. Yeah, he does have a shitty offensive line, but still, it's Russell Wilson, like the guy who like basically only needs one blocker to like just and that's it, and then he'll run around and just do his thing. And then we're gonna have the Rams see what they can do with Matthew Stafford and and how they're gonna revitalize that offense. And then you have the Niners, who, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with McGlinchey. The Niners do need a lot of help on that offensive line. Still, we don't know about Trent Williams and all that. And so, yeah, it's up in the air with J.J. Watt and that, and that defense. So, it'll definitely be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see what he can make out of it and what they're able to do. But I don't think Arizona's going to be competing for a title anytime soon.
I mean, I don't know, cause like, damn, I don't know, cause if you pair like Chandler Jones, I think he did he tear his ACL this past season. I think he did.
I
Um,
don't think so. I don't know.
he tore
I don't think
something.
so.
He tore something. He was out for the season. But like, I don't know, like pairing him with JJ Watt on that line is pretty scary. Because Chandler Jones every year always gives the Niners fits. Um, I don't know, but JJ Watt, um, I always, I always liked him. Even like, I mean, it's towards the end of his prime already, or he's probably a little out of it. But I don't know if you pair him with good rotational guys, and he doesn't have to be on the field all the time. He'll be effective. Like he'll be there to stop the run. Like dude's gonna have to respect him and double team him, obviously. Um, but the Cardinals did release Hassan Riddick, which is crazy because I don't know if you guys pay attention to him, but he's a good edge
Yeah, didn't he
rusher.
have?
Huh?
Yeah, he like led his team in sacks. I think last season, right?
Yeah, he's dude. He's like always a solid player. Like he's really good. But it was really surprising how he went to free agency. Um,
Well, it's no surprise that a guy in his last season of his contract does good. I mean, we always see that. It's like all of a sudden, oh, I'm on my last year of my deal. I want to get, paid top, five position money.
mm,
So I'm gonna have a breakout year. That's I think the Cardinals were kind of smart to do that because they've seen that his production jumped his last season. So I'm not sure. He hasn't really looked. I think he was a first round pick, if I'm correct.
yeah, he
Hasn't
was.
really looked the first round pick mold.
Well, he's solid. Like as a rotational guy, like he was like a D forward for that defense. Just a guy that you can trust on like on a third and long or something, or in
Yeah,
passing situations. I don't know. I like him, but that would have been pretty scary if they would have kept him alongside with the other two, Chandler Jones and JG Watt. But I don't know. Like we'll see. I mean, the Cardinals they didn't really utilize Hopkins a lot. Like I think the last season the Niners decided to double team him on that last game they played against him. He couldn't do anything.
hmm
So and Fitzgerald man didn't really scare the Niners either. So I don't know. We'll see how they utilize JJ
dude,
Watt.
Fitzgerald is out here in a walker at this point. Like
Pretty much, yeah. Why are you still baller though,
they might
dude?
as well like line him up at fullback or something. Because I all the respect to Larry Fitzgerald, but like dude's probably like 43 already, and he's like walking his routes at this point.
Facts. But I mean, I don't know. Fitzgerald's. I don't know. Guys still respect Fitzgerald. He can still catch like some short intermediate routes, but I don't know. But yeah, JJ Watt, man. We'll see. Another thing. I think the biggest trade that happened was the Carson Wentz thing to the Colts, and I don't know. What do you guys think about that? You think he's gonna do good? Think he just needed a new scenery, get back to his MVP status? What do y'all think?
Go for it, Rod.
Go ahead, Ricky.
No, you go first.
Alrighty, so Carson Wentz. Some of it has to be on Doug Peterson for not developing him further, and it also fell on Howie Roseman because yeah, competition's always healthy, and teams have always brought in that other quarterback to say, hey, this guy's gonna push you to be, a better quarterback. So, and there's nothing against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was a great college quarterback. He looked okay when he was a rookie. He had his rookie moments, but I don't think that was something that pushed Carson Wentz. I think it was something that he already had a fractured relationship with the coach and GM. So I think that was just kind of the final nail in the coffin where Carson was like, I'm done here. And he was just kind of at a point where he didn't care anymore. He didn't seem like he was putting the same effort this past season as he was his MVP season before he tore his ACL against the Rams. So it's just ultimately, I think, an effort thing from Carson Wentz and AG. Like you were saying, it's probably a fresh start for him. He's going to go with Frank Reich, his former OC or quarterbacks coach from Philadelphia, and I don't know. I think Indy has a much more talented roster right now than Philly does, defensive
Facts.
and offensive, especially the offensive weapons. Okay, who is he throwing to? A guy who played college quarterback and was playing in the at one point what the AAF in Greg Ward and
Good
Travis
point.
Fulgham. Who? What was that?
No, you're good, man. Go keep going.
Okay. But yeah, and Travis Fulgham. Like any one of you guys knew who Travis Fulgham was before the season? Like,
No.
whatever happened to him throwing to like Alshon Jeffrey? And I know Zach Ertz was also injured, but they really needed Dallas Goddard to step up, and I just didn't see it this past season. So definitely, Indy's gonna, they're gonna help them out. They have much better weapons. Their defense is a lot better. Credit to their DC. I know he was also getting some head coaching interviews this past season, so you know that there's something brewing in Indianapolis, and I really think that they just needed that next quarterback to get him over that hump. Philip Rivers did a great job, but his age definitely showed a bit, I think. And
Definitely.
then it didn't help that Rodrigo Blankenship like just shanked on that last kick. But hey, it's football and it's a business, and I think Carson Wentz just really needed that fresh start.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Ricky?
like you were saying, man, it was. I think it was gonna start to get a little toxic in Philly with him because I think it was pretty obvious that and at the way the way things were going, I think it's pretty obvious that Jalen Hurts was gonna be the future of that team. You drafted him in the what was he drafted in the second round or something? Was he drafted in the second round?
Second round, yeah.
Yeah, that's when
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, I like it's because I don't know Carson Wentz. Other than that 2017 season with Frank Wright, that he had as his OC, which he was. I think if Carson Wentz didn't tear his ACL, he was gonna win the MVP that year.
Oh,
I
no
think we,
doubt.
we can all agree on that. He was gonna win the MVP that year.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I actually really love the move to Indy. It's a young offense. It's a young offense with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. You got Paris Campbell in the mix, and then you have pretty solid other tight ends. Jack Doyle. You have Trey Burton, and they have probably one of the best offensive lines in football too.
Hmm.
Which is going to be a really huge help. So I don't know. I like the move. I think the Colts can up. Them, it'll be between them. I think on the Dolphins. No, sorry, them and maybe the Titans on who wins that AFC South.
Hmm.
It's because that the Titans are always gonna put up a fight. With as long as they have Derrick Henry and all those other guys, and the defense is still pretty solid. I like the Carson Wentz move. I'm all for it. Jonathan Taylor in the backfield with him. It's gonna be I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see also. So I'm excited to see that too.
Yeah, man. Just dude, that team is so scary. Like that defense with like adding Buckner to that mix is just crazy, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I like how Darius Leonard, is telling like free agents, like, if you want to come here, you're gonna have to put in work like the rest of us,
Yeah.
and that just goes a long way. And yeah, I don't know, like Carson Wentz adds, a pretty good mix to all that with that offense. It should be, I don't know, should be pretty fun to
Now
watch.
here's the thing: is he mentally like? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. Is his head really still in the game though? Because part of it had to be coaching, part of it had to be motivation, but also we've seen a lot of quarterbacks who have torn an ACL, who like the Derek Carr who's broken a leg, and the next season or two they just haven't been the same type of quarterback. And I know there's this psychological thing that it gets in their head and they don't want to get injured again and they've kind of panicked. And so I think that's also what we've seen from Carson Wentz. Is he going to get back over that hump where he can get out of his head and just play football again?
I
I mean,
I
oh,
I
go
mean I
ahead.
think so. And it's a new environment. You know, it's a whole new environment they're gonna go into. It's basically, yeah, it's a fresh start, and it's a whole new environment you're gonna go into. And for he can actually say, hey, I know that I have weapons that I can use now. I know that I can trust my offensive line. I know I have weapons. It's yeah, I've had my little dark past in the that's in the past, but it's a new beginning for him. And like he's still pretty young. He's not not gonna say he's hitting a late peak or anything. He's still I think he still has it. Like it's all up to you, like how they utilize him. Because when Frank Wright was utilizing him the way he was utilizing him in Philly, dude, Carson Wentz was on a whole nother level. And I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty scary coming back from an injury. That was you know. It was a while back, but like the mentality of it is just it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be an all new, fresh start for him.
Was Frank Wright the QB coach or the
Yeah,
OC? QB coach?
I think it was a QB coach.
He
Yeah,
might have
I
been the
think.
OC, but I think Doug Peterson was calling the plays.
That's right.
Yeah,
My bad. My
I
bad on
mean,
that.
I think so. He was an OC then.
Not quite sure at the moment.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, we
Either
don't we
way,
don't we
I
don't know
think
for a fact.
it's yeah. It just either way, it's just like if you have like a good relationship with your quarterback as an OC or QB coach, it can go a long way. And you can probably the kid more probably better than the head coach because you're always around him, like in meetings, um, yeah, in meetings, practice, texting, like you're just having that good relationship, and he probably knows how to get the best out of Carson Wentz, and I think he can probably come. I'm not saying he can come back to that MVP form because we don't know, but I think he can come back as a respected QB in the NFL again. Because that one game, what was that one game where it was just so bad? I think it was like a Sunday night game. Was
Oh,
it
the
the
Monday night
last?
game against the Seahawks, I believe.
Was it the Seahawks?
I think yeah. Well, he was horrible in that game
Well,
on the
I
Monday
think it
night
was that.
game.
y- Yeah, it was just like dude, the commentators are trashing like Carson Wentz and like the
He threw
play
like
calling in
three
that game.
picks or something in that game.
Yeah, it was just so bad and it was sad, man. And it wasn't his fault, dude. It's just if you don't give him weapons and an offensive line to help him out, you're setting him up for failure. And I think he's just been set up for failure after the Super Bowl and it's just been
Did
going downhill
did
for
it
him.
didn't the Eagles have like background like booing in their stadium speakers?
No
Yeah,
way,
I
really?
I
What
remember
was that
that.
down
Yeah,
to?
Wait, during like when they were on the field on offense?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
remember
Oh,
that because fans weren't allowed, so they had like automated boos when the Eagles went
yeah,
three and out.
that was
I
funny.
remember that.
dude, you would think the New York Jets would do some shit like that, right? That's just
Like,
wild,
what
man.
owners like? You know what? Let me make this interesting. Let me add some boos
Oh,
to our
dude.
automated fan sounds.
All right, so
That was
moving
funny.
on to like moving on from this topic, let's talk about so the Russell Wilson thing that's been going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the earlier stages of this, I don't know if you guys heard, but the New Orleans Saints, like all their fans want Russell Wilson in playing a Saints uniform, and it got to the point where the New Orleans mayor tweeted out a video saying how Russell Wilson should come to New Orleans, wear the jersey, thanking Drew Brees for his dedication to the team, being with the team for so long, but it's time to move on. Like that's just crazy. Like the mayor of the city of New Orleans recruiting another guy. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? The Russell Wilson thing.
it's funny that you mentioned that because the Seattle's mayor actually tweeted back
Mm-hmm.
to her
Yeah. I
saying,
think
"I love
he
you,
should.
mayor, but keep your eyes off," and then
Yeah.
like keep your eyes off Russell Wilson. So I thought that was just funny
That
how
was
we
funny.
actually have like two mayors just like arguing over a quarterback, which is just hilarious, I think. But
But it's
I don't know.
so bad. Like it's so bad because man, like what do you like? I like Drew Brees did like a video of him training, and he was like working out. He's like better fit than he was at 25. They were saying, and he was pushing the sled. But I don't know. I think Drew Brees is done, man. Like I think he should retire already. He just can't put New Orleans over the hump anymore. They don't have that magic they had that one Super Bowl season because it was just such a like a story. Like who would have wanted to see him win after Hurricane Katrina? You know.
Well, yeah.
But
I think it was just
but
like a deal with the devil kind of thing. You give me my ring, and New Orleans doesn't have to win another championship for the next, I don't know, 20 something years at that point. Because look
yeah,
at all the unfortunate ways their playoffs have ended. They've
mm,
ended on, you know, Marcus Williams making a really bad tackle. Was his name Marcus Williams, right?
yeah, Marcus Williams.
I
Yeah,
believe so.
Okay. Making a terrible tackle attempt. You look at the stupid pass interference call when they were, on that touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph. And then the other one was that no flag against Los Angeles. I almost wanted to say St. Louis, but they're the LA Rams now. They've been the LA Rams. So they've really had such terrible luck in the playoffs the past couple of years. And that's just how I'm saying it. I'm just saying that Drew Brees probably made some kind of deal where, give me my one Super Bowl ring and I'll be happy.
I I think it all
As
started
weird
back.
as that
I think it all
sounds.
started back when Vernon Davis caught that game-winning touchdown.
God,
On
man,
that third and
I
three, the
love
famous third and three catch.
It all started there.
God. I love that. I love watching that game. That was such a cool game to watch.
That was a great game to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
So if you're Drew Brees, is that really just like a shot at you from your own like team's mayor that,
yeah.
hey, we liked you, we appreciate everything you've done for us, but we don't want you anymore.
yeah, I think weren't even
And we,
fans like
I
holding
get
holding
it.
signs at their last playoff game, like "Thank you, Drew Brees." And, like, it's basically, yeah, they were basically saying goodbye. It's time to move
Yeah.
on.
I think it
You
is
know,
time, but like, dude, Russell Wilson in that Saints offense, like Russell Wilson plays like a younger Drew Brees. Like, imagine that offense. That would be
they
wild.
have a way better offensive line than the Seahawks do.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
it's
imagine how
not even
nice,
debatable.
those slant passes to Michael Thomas is going to be like.
I mean, I think
Well, I mean,
the Saints are still like two more weapons away from being really dangerous. I mean, because you only
bro, they
really have
have
And
Michael
then
so many
Thomas and Alvin
weapons.
Kamara.
they just released Emmanuel Sanders yesterday too, so they're
Oh, I
down
mean,
one
I
more
mean,
guy, and then
what's that guy's name? Keontae Harris. Like, that guy's pretty good too. He's a pretty good little slot receiver. They use him in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the Saints are still like two weapons away from being like, what do you call it?
a contender
Yeah, contender.
again.
Yeah, basically, yeah, in the NFC alone.
You know what's
But
crazy?
what?
They have literally the best weapons in the NFL, and it's just crazy how you say like they need two more.
They have the
Because
Cause
best
because
weapons.
well,
yeah,
Michael
cause you
Thomas
look
and
at
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. I
Uh,
mean, as much as Taysom Hill's not great quarterback, I mean, yeah, he'll make a couple. I don't know, but it is a good weapon like to use. Like that's just like a what did John Lynch call Kyle Juszczyk like a
he's an
switch Army knife
OW, an offensive weapon.
weapon.
Oh
Yeah, it's
no,
Taysom
that
Hill.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
I
right. Yeah.
was thinking about Denard Robinson. Basically, Taysom Hill is what everyone thought that Denard Robinson was going to be a few years ago when he was
Oh
coming out
yeah.
of Michigan.
Not wrong
Yeah.
there.
And Michael Thomas and dude, like the other reserve receivers are pretty good and I don't know. I don't think they need two more weapons. They already have enough. You know, I if they get if Russell Wilson somehow goes there or whatever he's going, um, I don't know. I don't think they need to add weapons because Russell Wilson can make better plays than Drew Brees. But yeah, well, go on with your thought. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Michael Thomas overshadows everybody else. That's why I say they need like two more weapons. I don't know, maybe or something, because
Mm-hmm.
he's had Michael Thomas for the last couple of years, and they haven't really like Ratchet. They haven't been able to get over the hump. Not just because of Michael Thomas and all, but maybe like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It seems like to me it's always Michael Thomas. It's always a slant to Michael Thomas, like a smoke screen to Michael Thomas. It's always him. So if they
Mm-hmm.
had like if they had another WR2 that's really good and reliable, like Kenny Galladay, somebody, then it'd be like, damn, now that is scary. And you add on
Right.
somebody else.
Damn, that would be pretty
It's
crazy.
like yeah. I mean, you have um, like I said, you have Keontae Harris, you have Latavius. Is Latavius Murray still with them too?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
believe so.
that's a good dynamic backfield. Him and Kamara, Jared Cook. I don't know what to make of Jared Cook. Um, well, yeah, if they had along like another solid tight end and give me another good wide receiver, and dude, I think they'd be set with that offensive line, with that running game, with that creativity they're gonna make. Dude, it'd be awesome to see Russell Wilson on that offense.
Well, it'd be
I
cool to
think at that
see.
point they
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, AG. I was just thinking at that point it's gonna be hard for them to bring in guys because they're already like 100,
Oh yeah, they have
million
no
under
cap
the
money.
salary
They have
cap.
no
I
money,
was
dude.
gonna, I
They
was
have
gonna
like
say, yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, like I like how we were
go
talking
ahead,
about them
AG.
bringing in weapons,
I mean,
and
it's okay to dream. It's okay to dream, right? Like,
dude, I mean, it's okay to dream if you have like under the cap, but dude, if you're 30 million, if you're 30 million over, there's no dreaming. Like you're in debt, bro. It's time
If
to
you
pay the
just have like
piper.
$3 in your cap, you're screwed at that point.
But to stay on the trade topic, um, I forgot who I was. I think I was telling Rod yesterday that the Bears really want to go all in on Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember we talked about that.
yeah, then we'll talk about Deshaun Watson too with that trade thing. But yeah, man. The Chicago Bears want to go all in on Russell Wilson, and I think they should. They have they still have some of their core defensive guys, and I mean, I don't know how their O line situation is, but hey, give Allen Robinson a new quarterback, man. I want to see that guy do good because, God, man, it just sucks to see him. I mean, yeah, he's the top receiver on the offense, but hey, there's a couple throws where it was just he couldn't make them. Um, but what do you guys think? Like, how would Russell Wilson would affect that team? You think they'll be like a real contender, or not really? What do you think?
I think maybe they could play for a wild card spot.
Ooh,
But I mean, David Montgomery. You got, they just franchise tagged Allen Robinson.
mm-hmm,
Which I really wanted the Niners to make a chase for that guy, but Anthony Miller. I think Daryl Mooney. I believe. And you have like Cole Komet, which is like going to be a really good tight end in the future. I see a bright future for that guy. Um, you know, it's a good offense. They have a lot of weapons. I don't know much about their offensive line. I don't know how healthy they are. I don't know how well they are. It'd be cool if they can get Kyle Long out of retirement. I know he wants to come back.
uh huh. Yeah,
Um,
he's already out. He's on the market.
um, so I don't know. I mean, when you put Russell Wilson in any offense, it's going to be a huge upgrade. That offense is going to get a huge upgrade no matter what. You know, but I don't know, man. Tariq Cohen, you still have Tariq Cohen, Cordell Patterson. They have playmakers, and you know, Mike Nagy is a really good offensive mind too. Um, but I don't know, Rod. What do you think?
So I was telling AG this last night. You like it because I think you said Mike Nagy. It's Matt Nagy. One. I don't mean to be an asshole, but
No, it's good. I don't even.
sorry.
I said I think. You don't even know his name.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
go on.
Matt Nagy, was Alex Smith's former OC in Kansas City, and the reason why I bring that up is I was telling AG last night was if Russell Wilson is Plan A, and that's a pretty big Plan A that you're gonna go after. That's like the Patriots saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is their Plan A. and I think we should talk about that later on.
Mm-hmm.
Cha-ching.
But for the Bears, you have to have a backup plan. And I was telling AG, like Alex Smith, he might not, he might have something left in the tank for the Bears. But if we're talking about Russell Wilson, I think the Bears' offensive line's pretty good. They have James Daniels at center. Cody Whitehair is their one of their starting guards, and then I believe, if I'm correct, they still have guys like Bobby Massey and um, shoot, there was that one offensive tackle from Texas A&M that I can't remember at the moment. He was drafted. He wasn't drafted by the
Charles
Bears. He was
Leno.
drafted by another team. Charles Leno was their starting left tackle, but it was like I fight D or something like that.
Oh, Jermaine Fetty.
Yeah, there you go. I butchered his last name, but yeah, I know. So basically, I think that was their starting line last year. So it's a pretty solid line, a big upgrade from Seattle's. And that last offensive tackle you actually mentioned, again, I'm not going to pronounce his name to save my life, but he was also in Seattle too with Russell Wilson
Mm-hmm.
at one point. Still, I think it's a better offensive line than the Bears. I'm sorry, than the Seahawks. I think it's a better receiving core at this point than Seattle's. I know Seattle has DK Metcalf, and I know they have Tyler Lockett, so I know that's a big thing for me to say. Those two are really great receivers, but but in terms of an offense, I mean, Seattle, they're rotating running backs like every week. Like one week
Yeah.
it's Chris
Carson's.
Carson, uh, the next, like, they're starting, I don't know, a cashier from Walmart. It feels like, because you're
Carlos.
hearing that this next guy is up, and
Carlos.
I'm
Wasn't
like, who
Carlos
the
Hyde was
hell
on
is
this
this
last
guy?
year?
Yeah, Carl Side.
I don't know. He was probably injured because, like I said, at one point they started some random running back I picked up on my fantasy team. He did get me like 17 points though, so I want to
Was it
thank him for
Homer?
that. But I'm sorry.
Was it Homer? I know they had one or
No, it wasn't Homer. I'm telling you. Oh, it was like Day. I think his last name was Day.
uh,
And I'm
was it?
telling you, you got me like 17 fantasy points. So good for him. But I think the Bears offense, is pretty solid. I remember this clip that I saw from it was like Darnell Mooney running routes, and he would just get wide open on receivers. I'm sorry, on defensive backs. He would just get wide open, great separation, only for Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky to throw like 10 yards over his head.
Yeah, dude, he has a
And
badass
there was
first
like
step.
Yeah, there's like three or four instances where he was able to get a really good release. He was open like 20 yards downfield, and every single time the ball just kept going over his head. Like he was just getting terrible passes.
Yeah.
And so I felt bad for the guy. I really did. And I think Russell Wilson can make the Bears a lot better just because he's a real, he's a leader. And I know there was reports that he stormed out of Seattle's like meetings with him about the team. I would be pissed too if like the team wasn't giving me any help.
Mhm.
Like I tell you guys every year during the draft, Seattle likes to draft just random defensive players in the first round, but they're not really getting any offensive line help for him. And it's unfortunate because that's your franchise quarterback. He won you a Super Bowl. He almost won you two Super Bowls. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I would like to see, obviously, as a Niner fan, I would love to see Russell Wilson out of that division anyways. But I think the Bears are probably a pretty good fit for him.
Mhm.
It's the best fit, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, as a Niner fan, I would love to see him leave, but yeah, I mean, I could see the Bears going all in because you have to. I think their window's gonna close pretty soon. You know,
Hmm.
take advantage of Khalil Mack right now, man. I'd like to see him win a Super Bowl. He deserves it.
But is
He's a
Khalil Mack in trade talks?
now that I've seen. Have you seen anything about that? I don't think so.
Well, what I mean is, if Seattle's going to be giving up Russell
Russell
Wilson,
Wilson.
Their guy.
their
I think
guy, I'm pretty sure they're going to tell the Bears, hey, you want Russell Wilson, you're going to have to give us the best player on your team, and that's Khalil Mack.
I don't know because
See, it's tricky. It really is. And that's
yeah,
how,
I don't.
we're having a hard time talking about it. Imagine the NFL GMs.
I don't know because Seahawks one need to rebuild, and
Hmm.
I think they would accept more draft capital than anything. Because I think Russell Wilson's trade value would be probably more than what Matthew Stafford had. Obviously, it might be in the middle between. We'll get to Deshaun Watson right now, but Deshaun Watson and the Matthew Stafford, I think you would give probably two ones, maybe three, maybe a couple seconds, and probably late round picks. I don't know, but I think they would accept more draft capital than getting some and then adding Khalil Mack. Because you need to build a future, man. They already tried signing free agent guys like veterans, and look what it got them. Like they didn't get them anywhere. But yeah, but the going to Deshaun Watson, um, you guys think he's gonna get traded? Because his head coach, the new head coach, I forgot the guy's name. He did a press conference and he said Deshaun's not going anywhere, but everyone's calling bullshit on it. It was just something that he obviously needed to say. Um, what do you guys think? You guys think he's gonna get traded next week, the start of free agency, before the draft? What do you think?
Go ahead, Ricky. I've been talking a lot this time.
I honestly don't know what to make of that situation anymore. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we get like new reports on Deshaun Watson every week. You know,
Yeah.
he's gonna leave. They're gonna keep him. He's gonna sit out. Like I don't know what's gonna happen with Deshaun Watson. I really don't. You know, yeah, like you were saying, the coach. I don't know what the coach said. Yeah, he's probably forced on to say something like that. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's a done deal. We can agree that it's a done deal with him and the Texans. Like it's done. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
But we just don't know of teams that are gonna want to get him. I think the Panthers made an offer, right? They said no.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
think
Well, let me
I
say
was talking to
this: what like what team would you see him be a better fit for? What team would want him in their offense right now? Like who would go after him?
I think the Panthers. I think the Yeah, I mean the Panthers made a better deal. I mean, not a. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they didn't make a good deal, but a deal that the Texans would actually want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all right. Picture this: Deshaun Watson and Christian McCaffrey in offense.
That would be so crazy.
That'd be good.
That'd be scary, right? I mean, that seems like a
Yeah.
good fit. I mean, other people are also talking about maybe the Broncos. I mean, I don't know much about the Broncos. I mean, I know they got some young receivers, with Judy and with Deshaun Hamilton and the tight end Noah Fant. I mean, I think they're talking about the Broncos. I don't know, but I think the Panthers are a great fit for him with McCaffrey, and it'd be cool to see that. I'm just saying it'd be cool to see him with with the Panthers, but I don't know. Rod, what do you think?
Well, there was a report that the Panthers were offering the eighth overall pick back when Matthew Stafford was available for trade talks. So if they're
Mm-hmm.
offering the eighth pick for Matthew Stafford weeks ago, I'm pretty sure they're still on the phone with Houston trying to, you know, trade for Watson and trying to give up the best amount of capital that's going to please Houston and that's, still going to have, they still want to have some of their picks. I don't think it's going to be another case like we saw with New Orleans and Washington several years ago when they tried to, or where they traded their entire draft just to get, oh God, what's his name? That one running back, the stoner guy. What's his name? Out of
Well,
Texas. Is trying to. I'm drawing a blank here right now.
I don't know any
That
Texas
Saint.
running back.
Yeah, I
Alrighty,
don't
well,
know.
I'll remember the name in a bit.
Doesn't.
But but Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
yeah. Remember
yo.
there was a story where, yeah, exactly. But this is what I mean. Like it was such a ridiculous trade because New Orleans sent their entire draft to Washington for Ricky Williams. I don't think that's going to be a case this that
Just jump around.
any team that's going to want Deshaun Watson, I don't think Houston has the leverage to say, hey, well, give us all these abundance of picks because teams are going to say, well, he doesn't even want to play for you anyways. Like if Deshaun doesn't get traded anywhere, he doesn't get released. I really do believe that Deshaun's just going to sit out the season. He'll just not play. So, you know, if you can get some draft capital for a guy who's going to sit out your season anyway if he's on your team, I go ahead and do it. And I think I like Carolina because they also have Anderson, a receiver
Yeah,
who's
I forgot
incredibly
about
fast,
DJ Moore.
DJ
Underrated.
Moore,
Underrated receiver.
and I think that roster is ready to compete. And Matt Rule's a great coach. He helped turn around Temple. He helped turn around Baylor. I know his first year in Baylor, they did lose 11 games, but after that, they were competitive. You know,
Hmm.
they were playing against Oklahoma in the championship game. So I think that Carolina's probably the best fit. I don't know about Denver necessarily because I don't know if Watson's going to want to compete against Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
That'd be fun to watch, though, right?
It would be. It would be. I don't, and I know Deshaun's a competitor. I know he'll, want to compete. But like I said, ideally, I don't think he would want to go up against him twice a year. For fans, we would love to see it, but I think it would definitely be a lot easier for him to go to Carolina. And not that it's, that division's easier, but, you have, who do you have? Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. Then you have an unknown answer at quarterback for the Saints. And then for
Same goes with the
The
Falcons.
Falcons are just a dumpster fire. Yeah. And
That's another
so I really
situation,
like
man.
Carolina.
Yeah.
I really want
Um.
him to go to a place where he's going to be appreciated. The offensive line is just going to help him out. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Stay on the Carolina topic. Christian McCaffrey restructured his contract alongside with some other. I forgot who the other person was that restructured on that team, but I don't know. People are saying that it might be for Deshaun Watson to bring him in. That way they can have that
You
cap.
just
But
have to feel,
yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, I think he gets traded before the draft because if he wants out, you're gonna
Hmm.
need someone at quarterback, and
Right.
I I think if Carolina's offering the 8, you're gonna have to take it. You
Oh
need
yeah,
that
it's a
top 10
top
pick.
10 pick.
Yeah, you need that top 10 pick to get a quarterback. Um, yeah, Carolina would be scary, man. Christian McCaffrey with Deshaun Watson, that would be freaking scary. But we'll see. I just hope that situation ends for him. He deserves to have a better atmosphere in an organization.
Right.
Is it true that he's the only player under contract on that team right now?
No
Who?
way. You're lying. What?
I think I read something on First Take because they were showing the press conference
You're lying.
of of uh, of the new coach talking, and it said Deshaun Watson. I think he's the only player under contract right now on that team.
That's
No way.
BS. There's dude
That's bullshit.
out of 90 guys, he's the only nah, that's bullshit. That's the weirdest thing ever.
I don't know,
That's
dude. It's something I read. I'm sorry.
I
where'd
also
you read
saw
it from?
yesterday that Mark Ingram signed with the Texans too.
Well, now there's
It
two
was like
guys.
That
a
was such a
one
weird
year.
signing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
but he
team is
won't.
so dysfunctional, and I get it. Mark Ingram was pushed out of Baltimore, but it's like, oh, I wonder what team I should go to next. You know what? Let me go to the Texans for $3 million. Like,
It was so
come
funny.
on, man.
I saw a tweet and someone said, "Man, David Johnson and Mark Ingram. If this was 10 years ago, they would be the most dynamic duo on the field." Oh man, yeah, it was such a weird signing. Oh, but
Yeah,
speaking of signings, Cam Newton signed again with the New England Patriots for 14 million on a 1 year deal, and
14
there was
million.
report,
Yeah,
yeah, 14 million. I think that's more than because he was signed on 1 million
something
I
like
think
last
that.
he
year.
signed like an eight. I could have sworn he signed like an $8 million contract this past season.
I don't know, but it was stupid cheap, and to go to 14 million. But there was
For what
reports
though? Like
saying,
he wasn't even.
I mean, he,
Sorry.
yeah, he didn't have no weapons. Honestly, he had literally no running backs, no receivers at all. Like he had a worse situation than when Tom Brady was there. But
Yeah.
there was reports saying that Jimmy G was Plan A for the Patriots, and now that they got Cam Newton, um, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think about that
I
signing
mean,
and them wanting Jimmy G?
I mean, if this was a signing that he only signed like a 1 year, $5-6 million contract, then yeah, I would think that they still want to bring in someone else to compete because Jared Stidham is just not the answer at quarterback for New England at this point. So you have to go and you have to find another quarterback that's going to compete with Cam Newton. But if he's getting $14 million for 1 year, he's almost guaranteed to be the starting quarterback. I know Bill Belichick never, promises guys starting jobs, but I don't know. And I was telling, I think it was Ricky about this, that I really did see Jimmy Garoppolo going back to New England, and we had this whole conversation about why I thought it. So I think, like I said, they might not go after Jimmy G anymore, but they definitely will draft a quarterback, probably second, third round. That's going to be the real answer at quarterback. If you're only signing Cam Newton for a 1 year deal, then you're almost certainly bringing in somebody for the future this offseason, I think.
Sam Ellinger? Question mark.
dot dot dot. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. We could, you know, Tom. I mean, sorry, Tom. Cam did not have a Cam year this last year. That's not the Cam we know.
No.
Not the Cam we're used to watching. You know, this whole last season was just a bitch to everybody. And I don't know. Maybe signing him back will maybe try to like also lure some other free agents maybe to want to come to New England. Like because Cam's always gonna be, I think, a a blockbuster. When I think Cam, I think blockbuster. And like I was saying, like they really struggled last year. I think they finished like in 30th in the league in passing yards. Didn't even
Mm-hmm.
average like 200 passing yards a game, which is that's not like Cam. Cam, you know, puts up big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I, you know, I don't know. They need to bring in a lot more weapons to help that offense. You know, um, but I just I hope things work out for Cam because Cam's a great player. He's a great person, great player. He deserves a chance. Another chance to win a title. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. What happens with them and the Patriots.
I don't
Yeah.
think the Patriots. I'm sorry, AG. I
No,
don't
go
think
ahead.
the
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Patriots this year are the same Patriots that were competing for championships a couple years back. I think this roster just needs to have a complete rebuild, which is why I'm surprised they signed Cam Newton for that much money. All right, go ahead, AG. Sorry.
Well, to remind you guys, like they had guys that were held out, like Dante Hightower was not playing because of COVID. Patrick Chung too. Um, I think there was a few other guys, but yeah, it just that didn't help the defense either. They didn't have their main guys on out there. It was just Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Jackson, and just pretty much just a bunch of like backups playing for those guys. And I don't know if they sign a couple of receivers, which they have money to, they can. Um, like dude, imagine Kenny Galladay on that offense or like the receiver
Hunter
class for
Henry.
free. Dude, Hunter Henry, like the receiver class for free agency is wild, man. Like there is guys already that were got released during this quote unquote massacre week. Um, there's been yeah, we'll get to the other two that are pretty crazy, but yeah, dude, if they sign receivers for Cam, which I think they will, um, I think the Patriots will be back as a wild card contender this season if they do the right moves. Um, but yeah. Oh, but let's go to it. So, what do you guys see the releases of Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher?
Yeah, Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. Not expect that at all. You're talking about probably the guys that two were the most important guys in that offense, and the Chiefs' offense is made up of a lot of stuff. And for that, I was like, wow, um, shocking. They both really had a really down last season. But they're still great players. We can all agree on that. They're still great players, and it'd be cool. Yeah, like I said, as Niner fans, maybe make a push for Eric Fisher. That'd be cool. Because the Niners need help at offensive tackle. Um, but yeah, man, it was crazy. I'm so shocked, and it adds on more to the free agency like crazy year off season thing. It's crazy, and it's gonna be interesting to watch what happens with those two guys.
I think that missing those, Eric Fisher being gone and Mitchell Schwartz being gone, we saw how Kansas City's offense was in the Super Bowl without them. Okay, that offense was stagnant at best, and it it's funny because I forgot where I heard this from, but now it's like Patrick Mahomes doesn't have both of his tackles. He's gonna basically be making these like jumping incomplete passes like he was in the Super Bowl now all next season because he's not gonna have any real offensive tackle help. And they'll bring in somebody, but Patrick Mahomes signing a $500 million contract doesn't really help the team bring in any offensive tackle talent in free agency. So you have to hope that you can draft the best guys to replace him. Eric Fisher was a number one overall pick 2 years ago, so that's going to be hard to try to replace a former number one overall pick like that. I think Kansas City might have, they're going to make the playoffs regardless next year anyway because their offense is still explosive. They still have Tyreek Hill, they still have Patrick Mahomes. They will take a step back though, I think, because the pass protection might not be as good as it was this past season for them.
Yeah, but I think was it a playoff game that Patrick Mahomes got hurt? Like he just got smacked by somebody.
It was against the
Oh, it was
Yeah,
against the
Browns, wasn't it?
Browns.
the Cleveland Browns. Yeah,
God, man. Yeah, he just God. How do you? I mean, he. So the contract he signed, I don't know if you guys looked into it, but I think the first few years, it's not a lot. It's not hurting them at all right now. Um, it just I get it. Like Eric Fisher is coming off a torn Achilles, and Mitchell Schwartz was having back injuries. They're
hmm
up there in age. Um, I mean, I could see why they let him go. They probably want to draft new guys to mold cheaper options. But I don't know. It was kind of a crazy release to release both your tackles, but I don't know. We'll see. Like you said, they'll obviously still make the playoffs again. Um, yeah. But moving on from that, so there's a report saying that Jimmy G, the Patriots were calling about Jimmy G, and there was an offer, but the Niners ultimately said that he is not up for grabs. This whole situation, man, with the QB stuff, I don't like. I don't even know what the Niners should do. I mean, obviously, yeah, keep Jimmy G, let him have another chance, because I like them bringing back a Rich. How do you say his name? Scranginello.
Rick Scangarello.
Scrangarillo,
Literally three words.
something like that.
I think Ricky gets it better,
Rick Scangarello, dude. Like that's it.
Yeah,
but
I'm not good with names. I've already made that clear earlier.
oh yeah, but bringing him back is a big plus because Jimmy G that first season he had was probably the best version of Jimmy G we saw, and I think having him back at QB coach is really helpful. And I would like to see Jimmy G succeed, man. Like, yeah, I did say this past season that we should look into another new option, but it wasn't his fault with what was going on with his ankle situation. I think he got brought back way too soon for the Niners. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You should think we should trade for quarterbacks, draft a quarterback. What do you think?
Ricky, what was that comparison you said with Jimmy Garoppolo and like a reliable car? Can you rephrase that again?
Dude, look, guys, we talk about this at work all the time. We talk about it.
He's rehearsed this in the mirror several times.
I don't know how many more times I gotta tell you guys that Jimmy G is my guy. That I stand by Jimmy G. I will ride with Jimmy G. Because, guys, the guy wins games for us. He may not stay healthy yet, but guess what? We all get the injury bug. It happens. It's it happens. Some people just hit with bad luck. But guys, he wins games. The biggest question is, yeah, the question's always been, can he make that throw in that Super Bowl? If he would have made that throw, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now in the Super Bowl. I don't think we would be having it. Despite him getting injured last year, I don't think we would be having this conversation. Jimmy can make that throw. We know what Jimmy is capable of. He can make throws. I mean, and yeah, getting Rick Scandrella back is a huge help because he did help Jimmy a lot. You know, I'm all in on Jimmy G. Should we draft a quarterback? We should draft a quarterback, but not until late in the draft because we when we see Jimmy fully healthy, like we did that one season, 2 seasons ago, guys. You know, and yeah, like you were saying, Rod, the reliable card, like it's like I forgot about it. It was like you want a car that can get you to work, can make you a good, you can work something out with it, and you just know that it's reliable. And Jimmy G is reliable. He's when it comes to health, this last season it was a huge concern, but guys, Jimmy's reliable. I mean, there are times where he does scare the crap out of me when he makes some throws and when he decides to be mobile, but you know he doesn't. In the offense, you don't really need him to do what Mahomes does or Wilson does or those other guys do. You just need him to take the drop back and then the receiver's open already. I think in some plays, because Shanahan's offense is probably the most difficult offense in football to scheme up and learn. You know, but I think Jimmy's our guy. I say that keep saying it. We can keep listening to the sources that say, "Oh, we're gonna trade for Sam Darnold." We're gonna trade for this guy or this other guy. Like, we can listen to all the sources. But until something is actually like made, until we get a breaking news a notification on our phones about a trade, I'm gonna keep saying Jimmy G is our guy. I'm gonna ride with Jimmy G, and you know, it's just me. I know you guys are gonna give me crap about it. There are some other fans that give me crap about it. Like my brothers and people that I talked to about Jimmy G. But just let's just I trust in Jimmy. I may be alone on this, but yeah, man, that's my take on it.
And I wanted you to bring up the car comparison
Dude, like
about
I
Jimmy
forgot
being a
it.
reliable car. No, I know. I'm just because my rebuttal is gonna be like I see Jimmy as like a BMW. It's he's slick. It's a sexy car. It's
Wait, what?
what, but well, I'm saying the car is sexy, and I know people find Jimmy G very attractive, but I'm just saying the BMW. It's like a cool, sexy car, but and it's gonna get you to where you need to go. However, and Ricky, I know you owned a BMW in the past.
Dot dot dot.
It's gonna be in the shop sometimes. It's gonna be in the shop, and how reliable is a BMW gonna be? It's not. I don't know. Like I'm saying, it's a sexy car, but it's not really going to be that reliable if it's constantly in the shop, if it's constantly going to be needing to get worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I see Jimmy G. He's a great quarterback when he's healthy. He's won us some ball games and he's made some big Jimmy throws, but he's also been injured a lot. And we've had 2 out of 3 seasons where he hasn't played a majority of our games because he's gotten hurt, and we've just had to, one the torn ACL, and then last season when he messed up his ankle, we basically shut him down for the whole year because we tried to rush him back, and just like Kyle Shanahan and company in Washington did with RG3, they tried to rush him back from an injury, and it just didn't work out.
But
And
Rod, can we just like, fine? But we can agree, right, that when he does play, he's good.
Oh, I think he's a good quarterback. He'll make that throw to the linebacker,
Uh,
once or twice a game. He'll
yeah.
like just say, "Oh, there's a linebacker in coverage. Let me throw straight at him." You know?
Look at there are. I mean, there's one parts that we got to fix with him. I mean, yeah, with Jimmy, it's like he drops back in the play action, and he turns around all fast, and he expects the receiver to be running on to the falling back.
Oh wow.
But I don't. Yeah, I mean, yes, but when he's healthy, he's good. Like he just we've seen it. When he plays, he wins games.
Mm.
Regardless if it's of him throwing the ball, but we've known that I think we've come to know that in our offense, guys, like it's just really not if Jimmy can make a throw, but like the more of our offense. I think his offense is going to be predicated on the running game only, not only, but it's a run heavy offense because I don't know, it just works best for us. I don't know, but well, I don't know, Edgy, what do you think?
It's look it. I like Jimmy G. Like I've defended him for since he got here up to now. Well, not to now. Like it just I gave up on him. I'm not gonna lie. I gave up on him during the season because there were just some throws that were just like, man, dude, like you're still making those fucked up throws, man. And it gets you so frustrated as a fan. Like, you know how, dude, like we have literally the Yak Bros, man. We have George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, they did get hurt, but it's just like Jimmy G, man. Like, there's just some throws he just misses, and it's irritating. And again, I know he has the ankle issues, and not gonna lie, our offensive line play has been dipping year to year a little bit. I mean, Mike McGlinchey, man, he just I don't know what the fuck is going on with that guy, but and we have our guard situation, like our online. If we get good players on our own line, and if Jimmy G can perform good, then yeah, like I'm happy with him at QB. But we have to see. I don't know. We have to see what he's gonna do, man. I mean, it's easy to pick on him from this last season. He was hurt and stuff, but he is. I am gonna say this. He is a better option than Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard. I think we all can agree on that, right?
Yeah,
By far, yeah.
and there was like I think Steve Young was on a radio talk show last season, and I don't know if I sent you guys a video. I don't know if maybe I did send you guys a video, but he was talking about some of the throws that Jimmy makes and the
Mm-hmm.
quick decision throws that just end up like you're gonna throw a slant on a 3rd and 10 for like about a 3 yard gain. Like that play in the
Smoke
Super,
screen.
like on that play in the Super Bowl. Remember on that 3rd down, when he throw the quick slant to Tevin Coleman instead of waiting for George Kittle to get to his route.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Steve Young said, that he used to do this all the time. And I think he'd go. I think Bill Walsh, would go up to him and just be like, "Hey, relax, take a deep breath. Let the play develop." And sometimes I don't think Jimmy does that. He doesn't let the play develop. Sometimes he needs to relax and because I'm not saying he has the greatest pass protection offensive line, but they do give him time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of Jimmy let the play develop. Trust it, and it'll be there. And we saw that on that play. If he waited like an extra and maybe an extra second, George Kittle was going to be wide open for that 1st down. You know, And there were several throws where Jimmy just wants to get rid of the ball fast because you know maybe he's insecure of himself or something. Maybe he doesn't trust the play. But Jimmy just needs to you know still develop a little bit.
Mhm. It just he. I don't know if it's because of the new QB coach. Day is his name Shane Day? I forgot
Shane
the
Day. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
Shane Day, right? It just what irritates me about Jimmy is that he doesn't move out of the pocket like how he did his first season when he played with us. Like you said, you got to as a quarterback, you got to let the play develop and be patient. But there's times where you have to improvise, and and you know when you improvise, you're also helping the play develop. You're also getting guys open, and Jimmy G just sometimes where he just looks like he stares at he's like a deer in headlights. He just he just stands there and just doesn't move. Like he gets stuck on that 1 and 2 read and doesn't read his third option, his fourth. Kyle Shanahan has literally 5 options on the field, and if you're getting stuck in your 1 and 2, you're making rookie mistakes, man. Like he just stands there, sits in the pocket. He just doesn't move around sometimes, and it just really irritates me. And I know like the ACL brace, like doesn't help his mobility. I get that, but dude, Tom Brady played with it. There's no excuse for it, man. Like you just got to go out there and do it. But I hope Rich God,
Rick
Christ,
Scangarello.
Scangarello. I hope he brings
Whatever
out
his
the
name
best of
is.
Jimmy G because I want to see us back in the Super Bowl next year. Like it's time, man. It's time for him to step up. It's time for him to step up. But any final thoughts on this, Rod? On this topic? This very irritating topic.
Yeah, I know. I know Ricky's kind of getting tired of the Jimmy G slander, but yeah,
Jimmy.
if teams are calling about Jimmy G like the Patriots, I don't know if anyone else is, but I know the Patriots called, and if the Niners are quote doing their due diligence and calling other teams about their quarterbacks, like I don't know if you guys heard about that report that the Niners called for Teddy Bridgewater's availability,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Yeah, I
Niners
saw
were
that.
just saying like, "Oh, yeah, we just called for his backup services." Like, I get it. Teddy Bridgewater's contract would be, fair for a backup quarterback, but if you're the Niners, you're not making all of these calls to other teams just to try to find a backup. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to probably find someone that's gonna compete for for the starting quarterback gig. See, if they can beat out Jimmy because they're just a little bit more of an athlete and they seem a little bit more comfortable in the offense, then I mean, I think you should do it. And I know Josh Rosen got re-signed, and Josh Rosen was a great quarterback at UCLA. He's hasn't really been shown his he hasn't shown his full potential in the NFL yet. But I mean, look at the teams he was on. He was on the Cardinals and a Miami team that was definitely just tanking at one point when he was on the roster. But I don't know, man. Like I said, Jimmy Garoppolo, when he's healthy, he looks he looks good. Makes a couple throws to linebackers every couple of times, but you know, I think our running game and our defense was a huge part of what got us to the Super Bowl because if you guys remember, Jimmy Garoppolo only threw like 20 something passes in like a 3 game span or something. He only threw like how many passes in the NFC Championship? Probably no more than 10 because all we just kept doing was running the ball and it kept working.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if we can get our run game back and our defense can get back to being solid, I know Nick Bosa is going to come back from injury. I'm not sure if we're going to re-sign Solomon Thomas yet, but if he comes back healthy and we re-sign him, he could be a good piece for us. I still
Yeah.
think you try to, do what the Niners have been doing. Do your due diligence. See what other options there might be at quarterback. And if you can draft a guy like, I don't know, Sam Ellinger. I don't know why people are saying that Kellen Munn should be an option with the Niners at the 12th pick. I hate that people are saying that. I do not want Kellen Mond on this football team. And I've seen him play over the years, and I'm sure he had a great season this past year, but seeing him play, his first few years at at Texas A&M and irritated me. So I got kind of upset when people were saying, let's spend the 12th overall pick on Kellen Mond. Like, if it wasn't for this past season, he would be probably an undrafted or a third day pick,
Oof.
like last season, like
Kellen Mond
last
looks
draft.
like he looks like the most stiff quarterback ever. He just looks like a stiff
Yes,
person. Like you see
exactly.
him, I don't even know if he moves his neck or not, dude. Like he just looks stiff to me. He doesn't like I don't know. There's something about that guy I never liked about Kellen Mond. I
And
don't
I'm
know.
sure he's coachable.
Probably
Yeah.
yeah he is.
He probably like I never seen him play his first couple seasons, but I saw his senior bowl. He looked alright. Like he looked pretty good. He played better than all the quarterbacks that were playing,
He like Mac
including
Jones didn't play.
did he? He didn't
He
play.
didn't. Mac Jones didn't play.
Mac Jones did not play. He got an
What?
injury, I believe.
Yeah.
Aw, that sucks. But I don't know. I like the kid. Give him a chance. Send him to the Niners. Groom him. But I
I'm
agree
not
with
picking
you.
him with the
I
12th
No,
did.
overall
I'm
pick,
not picking
though.
up with the
I
12th pick of the
No.
draft.
I'm not saying that. I did see an article on that. I forgot who. Actually, it was like a big time reporter that said that shit, and that shit was fucking stupid. Like, I
Like,
don't fucking
if
get
we
that.
draft Kellen Mond with the 12th overall pick, I don't know.
Might
Would
as
that
well
I
be
bring
trust
back
John Lynch.
would that be equivalent
We might
to?
as well have Kyle
Giovanni
Williams come
Carmazzi.
back and be.
Giovanni Carmazzi, Rod.
Let's just bring back Kyle Williams to be our punt returner while we're at it. Like,
Yeah.
thanks a
Leave,
lot. Thanks a
leave
lot,
the
John Lynch.
Or we should bring
leave the
back Joshua Garrett as our offensive guard.
leave the guy alone, man. Jesus
Or
Christ.
Jonathan Martin as our starting tackle again.
Ah, God, guys. Come on, give John Lynch a break, man. I like the guy. He's done great for
No,
us.
I like the guy too, but I don't think if I'm not spending a 12 pick on Munn. I'm sorry. I would spend a 12 pick on let's see,
Yeah.
who was that? Zach Wilson. I wanted to, when Zach Wilson wasn't getting as much hype, I was all in on getting Zach Wilson at 12. I would be okay with Trey Lance at 12 because if you're going to keep Jimmy around, keep Jimmy around for another year or two, let Trey Lance like soak everything in and then eventually he'll be a starter. And I think that's what San Francisco might do only because John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan they haven't I don't know if they've said it outright, but they've kind of admitted that they were interested in Patrick Mahomes, but they didn't really do like a lot of work on him. They liked all his physical traits, but they weren't sure how he was as an NFL quarterback. And look, it came back to haunt them. And I think if they see Trey Lance as this year's Patrick Mahomes, where maybe he's not as polished, and if he takes a year in our system, the next season he'll be a great quarterback for us. I think they're going to go ahead and they're going to pull that trigger on Trey Lance. That's my opinion. We could get an offensive tackle. I really love Slater from Northwestern. I think he's going to be a
Oh
great
my god,
offensive
that guy
tackle.
looks
I
amazing.
love that guy.
His
Dude, that
pro
guy's
day was
so
just
cool,
amazing.
man. He's such a badass. That guy's if we don't sign Trent Williams, I would love I would trade up for that guy because he's going top 10 easy. Well,
I would
and
not re-sign Trent Williams. I think that's just my
Uh,
opinion.
yeah, I
oh
wouldn't either.
man.
I wouldn't either.
I
Come on,
mean, he's
guys.
asking for like what 20 mil a season. Like we have Justin School. We can draft another tackle.
That's what I.
There's
That's
other
literally.
Oh,
guys.
That's what I
come on,
told AG the other day. Isn't that what I told AG
come
the other day?
on.
I was like, dude, I
Like,
trust in Justin School.
Fuck you guys, man. How are you
Whoa,
gonna
whoa.
how are you gonna like
whoa, whoa, whoa!
well
This
cuz
is
like
a friendly podcast.
no, like when you say shit like this, I am going cuz like how do you say
His
like
glasses have come off, people. His glasses have come off.
dude, how do you say yeah, I'm willing to let go of Trent Williams cuz we have Justin School, probably
Dude,
the
it's a
worst
business.
starter.
It's a business.
It's not a
He's
business.
asking too much money, and we're not gonna. I would not give it to him. I trust Justin School too, like Rob was saying. I trust Justin School as our left tackle.
I don't know what kind of business you would run, but
I run a
He's
great.
32 years old, though.
Yeah, he's 30.
He's
He's
32.
32.
You're
why does
really
it
gonna
matter?
sign
Joe Staley
the guy
was
to
dude.
play
Joe
until
Staley played. Oh my god, Joe Staley played until he was 35. He still was productive. Andrew Whitworth still is kind of productive at the age of 38, 39. There's Jason Peters. Is he still playing? I think he's still playing. Like, there's just certain guys that play online that can play for a very long time, and Chet Williams is that guy. He is ranked the highest left tackle in the league last season. Yeah, he did have some bumps, but dude, like it's just
I would just get frustrated with like the holding calls that
Or
would
on
be
those
on
cross
him.
plays, and he would get beat off the line. We'd have like edge people like already in the backfield. I'm like, dude,
okay. He did that. I would admit he did do that the first couple games. He did do that, but he did clean that off. He cleaned off that rust. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that?
I don't
you're
know,
not.
man.
I mean, you're not
Rust.
wrong, but Rod, from a financial standpoint, it's just we'll take Justin School over a guy who's asking for too much money.
Okay, I get that, but
But
if
that's what it is though. At the end of at the end, it's what it is. Like we don't.
You have to make business
we-
decisions. And
It's
sorry,
I,
go ahead.
it
what was
just
that? But
uh,
look, man,
I'm sorry.
I the offensive tackles like Justin School when he filled in for Joe Staley when he went out last year. Like, dude, he filled in pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah, as a fill-in, but like as a starter, like
give him
come
an
on,
offseason to
man.
give an offseason to work. Like, give him that confidence. Like, dude, like
I'm sure he learned a lot too from Trent Williams during those
you learn from Joe
practices.
Staley and Trent Williams. Like, dude, come on. Like,
didn't he?
And
Didn't he have his chance to play this season though? Because from what I recall, it wasn't the fucking best. Because he did play for that game against the Packers, and that shit wasn't great. He was fucking getting beat off
the
the ball
Nick Mullins was just horrible that
by
game, dude.
that fucking defensive line of the Packers. I literally have nobody except for
Well,
fucking Frank
well,
Clark.
we got away from our.
what do you
Well,
mean they don't have anybody
we
though?
got away from our game in that game, which was relying on Nick Mullins to throw balls, and all of our running
Okay,
backs were
but
hurt.
come on, man. Like, come
Like,
on.
how did we beat the Packers? We ran the ball down their throat. We didn't have a we just didn't have it this last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just to say that
Yeah, we'll take
just to
Justin
say
School
that
over Trent
okay,
Williams.
I'm just saying like you guys don't give Trent Williams the respect, and that hurts me for
He
you.
hasn't really kind of earned my respect. That's the thing because
It's fucked
I
up,
don't.
man.
It's only win one. He had one. I mean, yeah, you can say top left tackle in the league, but it would like I don't know, man. Like our play was shit this year. Like
I
I'm not
know.
gonna say it was because of him specifically, but like
It was just a bad year overall. The Super Bowl hangover was real for us, I think.
Yeah,
I miss Nick Bosa.
I miss.
But
Yeah, I miss him too.
that money that Trent Williams is asking for, AG, you don't mean to tell me that that money you wouldn't want to spend on Fred Warner, whose contract is coming up, and Nick Bosa, whose contract is also due in a couple years. Not right now, but it's due in a couple years. So
You guys,
we
okay?
can have Trent Williams right now. Yes. And we'll have money to sign Fred Warner and Nick Bosa down the line. Yes, we will. But salary caps, it's not nothing's guaranteed. We saw the salary cap go down this year because of COVID. We don't know if fans are officially going to be let in the way they have in the past yet. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of states are already starting to open back up, but California, as you've seen, has been a very strict state with fans and with their sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
That money is not going to be coming in as much if we're still going to be in the same situation we were in the past season. We were kicked out of our own state at the end of the year. We had to play in Arizona.
Facts.
Like that money might not be here again for another year or two. So if we can save as much money as possible, so we'll have that to sign Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. I'd rather have that.
Okay.
And I'd rather just draft a talented offensive tackle who's he's gonna be a rookie, but he'll learn,
I'm
and
gonna
we'll
get.
have him cheap for 4 or 5
You know
years.
what,
Like,
Rod? I'm gonna buy season tickets right now. I'm gonna buy them right now. I don't care.
Good luck watching the Phoenix Arizona, or I'm sorry, the Phoenix 49ers.
uh,
You messed up, dude. You messed up, man.
you guys act like we don't
Hey,
have the
that's
best.
not me. It's
But you guys act like we don't have the best.
Santa Clara County, man. Come on.
You guys act like we don't have the best contract negotiator though, and Parag Marath.
I
That
mean, he
guy's a
signed Jimmy
goat.
G to that long contract, but
I
Well, it's not
mean,
hurting us.
he also
Not really hurting
like
us.
if he restructure
D
it, it'd be
Ford's
great.
contract. Like,
This will be saved for another podcast, another episode. God damn it! I'm already flustered right now.
He like Stephen A. Smith right now. He's gonna lose it.
I'm gonna lose it. Before we go, what do we think about Duke getting out of the March Madness?
Dude, get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
that will be for the next
Uh,
podcast, guys. I gotta get going.
God. All right. Well, yeah. We'll talk about talk a little bit about Niners more with the D Ford situation and stuff. But yeah, man, great first episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.